couple of things. I want to start with DeSantis, and they got you. There's a big story on the front of Drudge today, which I'm not really a fan of, but I happen to see it. What is going on with that, Laura Loomer?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on, John. And one of the headlines on Drudge this weekend was a big banner about how the Ron DeSantis campaign is all doom and gloom at headquarters because all of the staffers are starting to realize that the writing's on the wall. And this really isn't going the way that they intended or had planned for, John. And right now, Ron DeSantis is currently on an embarrassing and I would say illegal bus tour throughout the state of Iowa, paid for by the Never Back Down Super PAC in violation of coordination laws because his campaign is broke. You see that according to the FEC reports that recently just came out, and I know that I took a week off from your show. I was out of the country, but during that time, the PAC reports were actually released, the financial reports for the super PACs, and we see that the Ron DeSantis super PAC Never Back Down is really having to bankroll a lot of the campaign operations, which is not legal. I just want to reiterate that for people because Ron DeSantis has a burn rate right now of about $1.5 million per week, and that's just not sustainable because as we've seen, he really doesn't have a lot of cash left on hand. And if he wishes to continue his campaign at the current rate, he would need to raise another $42 million on the campaign side between now and January when the Iowa caucus takes place. And so he's there as their special guest. That's how they're getting around the law, by calling Ron DeSantis their special guest as they drive him on the Never Back Down bus all throughout the state of Iowa. And if you've seen my recent video that just came out, you'll know that Bob Vanderplatz, who likes to fancy himself as a serious evangelical conservative leader in the state of Iowa, he has lost 3 elections for governor, yet he still seems to think that Iowa GOP voters are going to take him seriously. He is a vicious anti-Trumper who endorsed Ted Cruz in 2016, and he has yet again gotten behind Ron DeSantis's campaign. But what he doesn't want you to know is the fact that he received a $50,000 payment from the Never Back Down Super PAC. If you look at the reports, and the FEC will demonstrate this to all of you. So it's essentially bribery. Ron DeSantis cannot gain organic grassroots support on his own. And so you're seeing that everybody who's supporting Ron DeSantis in key states like Iowa and New Hampshire, they're literally being paid by the Super PAC to do so, John.